What's up, everybody? How is it going? Did you miss me? It's been a while since I've done a video. I'm not in my usual room. I know. I'm watching my brother, who needs to stay out of the video. Anyway, so I'm watching my brother, and I've tried to record a video with him upstairs one time in my room, and it didn't work out so well. I wasn't even able to get that video posted. That was the one with the Mac Miller, but I was throughout most of the video that I really done that I wasn't able to get posted. I had to push him out of the way. So watching him, that's why I'm in my dining room. Actually, it's not even my dining room, it's my kitchen. Recording this today so I can keep an eye on him in an easier capacity. Today I finally get the chance to review the new Green Day album, Revolution Radio. I've done a couple of videos where I've reviewed the singles that have come off. I did Bang Bang and the title track Revolution Radio in a video that also included Lady Gaga and Sia, an NF single review, and then I did the last single, Still Breathing, on its own little videos, the last one that I posted. Now I get the full Revolution Radio album. All 12 songs off this album. Okay, what the heck? It says my battery's low. So finally I get to do it. I was really excited for this album. Very, been wanting it to come out for a while, ever since they got inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and announced that they were working on a new album. I got really excited for it. I just couldn't wait to see what it would have to offer. And the singles led up to something pretty good. A couple more punky type stuff with Bang Bang, and then a little bit on the title track itself. And then Still Breathing had that poppy thing that came back that just kind of sent my expectations down for the album. And so I didn't exactly know what to think of it. I was just going to go into see how this record was. And it wasn't great. It was kind of disappointing. This record, was just promised of being a little bit more punky, back to the old days. That made them famous back in the 90s, the type of style that made them famous in the 90s. I'm just going to put out Dookie because that's the one from that time that I've heard. And it wasn't that. It just wasn't. Bang Bang was the closest thing to that, and really didn't quite capture the essence of what Dookie was, mainly because of production, how raw Dookie sounded, and how clean cut this, and not as distorted, in my opinion, the guitars sound, or any of the instruments sound. This is very too well produced to even be anything like what Green Day used to be. And it just makes it more like what Green Day has come out to be the past 10 years. And it gave it a more 21st century breakdown feel to it, which is one of the things that they said. They said it was going to be like a mix of the Dookie, Insomniac, Nimrod era with a little bit of 21st century breakdown. Thing is, not really any of those former three, but more the latter. Is really what it ended up being. Somewhere Now, just immediately, is what starts off this record. It's an okay song and all. All these songs are really decent songs at best. So there's a couple good songs on here. It's not bad music. It was just disappointing to what we were hoping we would get. And almost, I guess, nostalgic's the word that I want to use to this album compared to what from some of the previous stuff as we go into 21st Century Breakdown nostalgia. Basically, is this record. Somewhere Now kind of hits it off like that. There's that little segment part in Bang Bang that kind of sounded like something out of East Jesus Nowhere. And then there's just a lot of things like bouncing off the wall. Here's a title that sounds like it would be really punk rock. The old Green Day that we know. The new, the young Green Day is the old stuff. That's a title that would get you like, oh yeah, here we go. We're gonna bounce off the walls with this song. just like it says. You're just gonna sit there and be like, everybody's bouncing off the walls. It's nothing. It's just, it's something out of Act 2, and maybe a little bit of Act 3 of the 21st Century Breakdown album. Nothing cool. Nothing cool. It's just nothing good in that sense. It's a decent song. Really, the greatest songs on this album were released as singles. I mean, like I said, Somewhere Now is just something that, like the beginning of 21st Century Breakdown, is very boring in a way. And then Outlaws had a similar vibe to it. I mean, a lot of these songs had very similar sounding musical compositions, which would have been fine if it was like a, the punk rock Dookie type era. Because if you listen to Dookie, musical compositions sound much the same on that album, but it is good, and it is really exciting to hear that. And when you listen to American Idiot and 21st Century Breakdown, you have different types. Stylistically, same when you hear all the music off those two albums, but the composition and the structures are just a little bit different, enough that you can you come up with songs, different songs. And then just here, as you go through this album, you kind of hear two similar compositions on the style of music that you really wouldn't want to hear it as. It sounds like the music had so much more room to be diverse with the way this rock is going. It's not punk rock, and then vocally, I'm gonna go to the vocals now, where Billy Joe Armstrong really does sound better in his older age. He doesn't sound as nasally as he did back on in the 90s, and in that way, it's okay, but that's fine. But musically, I'm just hearing. It's like they were trying to go back. They were trying way too hard to mix the two. And what came out was too much of one mixture. Too much of one substance in the mixture that overshadows the other substances. And so it had nothing exciting to this record. Musically, it really was not that bad. It was, and vocally, it wasn't that bad either. Just musically, it's not that entertaining compared to some of the other stuff. And lyrically, this album had many weird parts. I talked about it in this Revolution Radio. The chorus mainly was just really, really weird, and kind of made no sense at times, especially the line "debutante surgery." Still don't. I was just, where's the thing? Where was the lyrical direction going with that? And if you know that, if you're a hardcore Green Day fan, and I hope you are watching this video, and you actually know what Billy Joe Armstrong meant by that, even if it's from Genius.com, just please comment, tell me. See, or if you have your own idea, just figure it out. Please, for the love of God, please do that. Help me, please. Understand what's going on in that guy's head. I believe it was either, I think it was Bouncing Off the Wall that had a weird chorus too that made no sense. We're a bunch of bloodthirsty creeps is the line that I vividly remember hearing off this album. That I was like, what? Huh? Okay. Not because it said that and that's actually creepy. It makes me want to cringe. It's just it was just kind of weird, honestly. Of course, it's something I kind of more get. As this album, I think, actually took a turn for what the media produces to us, the violence that it produces to us. And I really think that's where he gets it from. It might actually have been Outlaws. It doesn't, either way, it's one of those two songs. And that, and I kind of get that. It was just really weird to hear. It's kind of creepy, which explains why I just ran off. It is, it was weird, and in that sense, Young Blood. That was another one that I feel like should have been a little bit more of a punky tune based off the title, and that the fact that they could have done it. It was really funny to me, and this is not he's describing this girl, which I'm almost thinking might be his wife, in this song, Billy Joe Armstrong's wife. He's two words I think he used to describe her, and they put this, and I'm reading off the iTunes editor's notes, is that, where in the bouncy delirium of Youngblood, which is false. It was not that bouncy, nor was it delirious. It was very tame, as most of this album was, which is another disappointing thing. Wherein frontman Billy Joe Armstrong rhymes Supernova with Cherry Cola like it was actually impressive. They have it like, oh, these are two words you never hear together. Never heard rhyme. Supernova, Cherry Cola. Both in an and easily rhyme. It doesn't need to be the last 8 letters of each word that need to be exactly the same. So apparently this girl, which I really am thinking it was Billy Joe Armstrong's wife, he describes her as a supernova and a cherry cola, which rhyme totally fine. I don't know why that was a big surprise to the iTunes review. So, and they were also wrong with it being a bouncy delirium. It was very calm and just decent song. It's actually one of the better ones on this album, aside from 3 awesome singles. I will actually go into Too Dumb to Die, which was I thought should have been a little bit more, pop punk, but it was actually started to go into that pop punk ferocity a little bit, more so than any other song on this album that is not that wasn't Bang Bang. That one had a little bit more pop punk ferocity than other than Bang Bang. Those 2 songs really had it. And then Troubled Times was a very truthful song lyrically, where we do live in troubled times, as we said, we live in troubled times. And then he talks about that in the album, in the song. And yeah, but again, this is a 21st century breakdown style song over this pop punk that we were led to believe that that Green Day would deliver. And Forever Now was actually probably one of my more favorite songs on that album for the first 3 minutes and 30 seconds of it, because Forever Now, if you all paid attention to the beginning, where the beginning song in this album, the opening song in this album, was called Somewhere Now, and I did not put this together while listening to it, that it was like a circle back, almost like in a concept album or a rock opera, where you can circle back and bring out same musical styles, the same lyrics onto a song. And that's okay if you do it just a little bit, if you make a little bit of it into this one song from the beginning to on the beginning song and the end song. You can do that on any album, to just end an album. If you do it for like maybe 10 seconds or up to a minute, it is really... And Green Day did it a little bit on 21st Century Breakdown, if I recall, that they did that. And so that's not a bad thing, but because it never ruined the song on 21st Century Breakdown when it did that. But on Forever Now, like the first 3 minutes 30 seconds of it was a really good song, being its own thing, and this is Forever Now, and then it kind of molds into Somewhere Now, and it's just that for the rest of it. And the opening, the riff that opens the album, completely ends that song. It's not the last song on the album, because they decided to put Ordinary World, which is just an acoustic, it's got some electric guitar, I think I heard in it, but it's mostly an acoustic, which is Billy Joe Armstrong singing, and it's off his it's going to be off the Ordinary World soundtrack. I believe it's the name of the movie that Billy Joe Armstrong's starring in, so it was written for that, and they decided to put it at the end of the record. But if they didn't decide to put that on the record, Forever Now would be it, and they would have ended the album with the same riff that opened the album. And which is fine if they did that right at the end of Forever Now at like 3 minutes 30 seconds. And this is approximate time, by the way. I'm not exactly sure when it ends. Instead, they put almost the entire song of Forever Now, Somewhere Now, the entire song of Somewhere Now after the Forever Now part, and it almost ruined the song for me because I did not like the opening track that much. But I like Forever Now. I did not like Somewhere Now. You put the two together, and putting one after the other, and it just didn't work out, I think, as they planned. But that's just it was just a bit of a disappointing record. It really, if you really want to listen to it, you really listen to it. It's not the worst album that could have been made. Sure, it could have been a lot better, and I've reviewed better albums, and I've reviewed worse albums on here on this channel. I haven't really done that much. So I'm about to run out of battery, so I'm gonna wrap this up really quick. It was actually a decent album. If you're a hardcore Green Day fan, I hope you are, and you came to listen to what I have to say. Feel free to agree or disagree with me. If you think it's the best album Green Day has ever made, leave a comment. Tell me why. If you feel like it's the worst album they've ever made, leave a comment. Tell me why. If you completely agree with all my ideas and that it's not that bad of an album if you listen to it, it's just some of the things we were expecting was disappointing. Leave a comment. Tell me why. Please do. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel to see more videos. And I will see y'all in the next video. Hopefully I'll be back in my own room because I won't be watching my brother. See y'all soon.